Thank you very much, Mr Chairman, and I'm happy to take the first of what I hope will be several contributions during this, many contributions during this committee stage on this, particularly as the whole bill is now being debated as one part, and there are many aspects of it that I hope to dig into. But first of all, I want to start at a high level and call this bill for what it is. This is a symbol of the national government's approach to governing the country, which is that they're quite happy to break the law, and let's be clear that that is what has been happening for many years now. The government has been breaking its own law, and then when they get caught out, they come to the Parliament to legislate to make legal what was previously illegal. And when they were in opposition, which we can remember back that far, they railed against that kind of approach. How horrific it was that a government of the day might legislate to make legal something that was previously illegal. And yet here we are under urgency, legislating to make legal something that was previously illegal, no public scrutiny, no select committee process, and a very truncated debate in the sense that we're now debating it all as one question. And that, of course, is symbolic of the approach of this national government. And yet no one from the government side has spoken during this committee stage debate to answer the many legitimate questions that are already being asked, and I'm sure that there are more to come. Because why is it that the government are in such a hurry to remove this right, this monetary entitlement from people who are on benefits? And yes, the government may say that this is one day, but what happens if somebody has been on and off benefits over that period of time? Seasonal workers, teacher aides, many people who could be affected by this are going to retrospectively have their legal entitlement taken away. Let's be really clear about that. They are legally entitled to this money. If a business was legally entitled by the letter of the law to a sum of money from the government, would we be here under urgency legislating to take that entitlement away from them? I don't think we would be. I don't think the national government would do that. So why do they feel that it's acceptable to do that to someone who has been living on and off a benefit? Because they are the people who are most likely to be affected. They are the people who are making an effort to get out there and work, and they may not be able to find full-time, long-term sustainable work, so they might be doing seasonal work or work that comes and goes. That means that they have an on-again, off-again relationship with work and income, and they are the ones that are most likely to be affected by this. So why is the government doing this if the minister says that it's only a relatively small sum of money that we're talking about? And that's what the minister has said. So here's a challenge, an open challenge. Question number one, how much? How much is a small amount of money? That's the first question. That's the first question. How much is a small amount of money? What's the total amount? I'm not talking about per person. I'm talking about what's the total liability that the government are legislating to remove here. That's question number one for the minister, and I'm looking forward to hearing the answer to that. Question number two is how many people does the government estimate are likely to be affected by this by this legislation? That's question number two. Question number three, related to question number two, is within that group of people who are likely to be affected, how many of them are likely to be affected more than once? So if that's just simply that they applied once and they missed out on a day, that's one issue. But if that's that they have been on and off a benefit, and the seasonal workers that I mentioned would definitely fall into this category, how many of them are there likely to be? So those are the first three questions that I have for the minister, and I'm very much looking forward to those answers, because my contribution as the debate progresses will, in part at least, depend on what the answers to those questions are. Bearing in mind that the government have known about this for some time. They've known about this for some time. They only moved to close the loophole when the public found out that this loophole existed and that this problem existed. So they sat on this information for a significant period of time. The problem, of course, has been in existence since 1998, a significant period of time, and then only now are we addressing that. So why has it taken so long for the government to bring this legislation to the House, and why the rush? Why the hurry? If this problem's been around since 1998 and the government have known about it for quite a long period of time now, a year and a half they've known about it, why the rush to suddenly do this? Which brings me, of course, to a few other questions. So why is it that the government are not giving people the opportunity of giving them due notice, so that if they have an entitlement, that they could actually gain that entitlement? Why is it that they're suddenly taking it away? Why is it that they are preserving the entitlement only for a very small subset, Mr Chairman?
Call the Honourable Anne Tolley.